the biggest scam that I've seen, involving just in terms of dollars, involves powers of attorney. And there's a saying out there: if Jesse James had known about powers of attorney, he never would have robbed a bank. And that is true. The largest money transfers I've seen have all involved someone getting a power of attorney.
Okay, and that's something for folks to really look out for, because it doesn't seem like, okay, we've talked about families, distant uncles who come up, but it could actually be professionals around your corner. I suppose attorneys could do it. I suppose bank officers, financial advisors could do it, and I don't think any of the things you've talked about where relatives or whoever gets the money could get it without some legal avenue. And that's, I think, what you're talking about.
Correct. The cases that I've been involved in the powers of attorney have been used by a son, by a nephew, by a daughter, and a recent case by a bank manager. So people that are you trust them, and you trust them so much that you're willing to give them a power of attorney. And for people who don't know what a power of attorney is, a power of attorney is a legal document by which you give to another person that you appoint the power to do everything you can do, sign your name, basically.
Financially, right.
Correct. They can transfer deeds to real estate, transfer titles to your car. They can sell your CDs. They can do just about anything with a power of attorney, and they're used simply to rob. They can be used to rob. And the tricky part is that a power of attorney, I do many powers of attorney because I have an estate planning practice, and for a couple, or whether you're younger or older, I often recommend a power of attorney. As long as you have someone you can truly trust, a power of attorney is a good tool to have in your estate planning arsenal.
It shouldn't be just a blanket ticket to go out and spend money. I mean, generally it's, and I'm positive that you and every other respectable attorney in this area does that. It tells the people it's yours to give when you want to give it, not and it's for your benefit, not for their benefit, unless you write something into that.
Correct. Well, in fact, in my practice is to keep the power of attorney in my office until the client needs it. And I'll tell them, when you need it, you can give me a call, and I'll have the person you appointed, they can come to the office and pick it up, or I'll send it to them. Or if you're unconscious or you can't speak because you're in a hospital under doctor's care, if your doctor provides me evidence that you can't speak. So that's safe. I keep it safe. The problem is, once it's released, then the attorney in fact, the person who's been appointed, the agent, can do as they want with it. So you better make sure, if you give someone a power of attorney, that you have complete and utter, unequivocal trust in that person's integrity. And if there's the slightest doubt, you should never give a person a power of attorney.
Let's say that you had this ultimate trust, and then suddenly you're not so trusting of that person. What advice would you think would be?
Immediately revoke it.
Okay. And
send the notice of the revocation to all institutions, all your institutions, your banker, your stockbroker, your financial planner. Spread it around that you have revoked that power of attorney.
Okay, and I guess if you have an attorney drawing up the power of attorney, that's the person to contact, perhaps. But if it's a general power of attorney, does even the attorney know where to go to revoke that? Or do you think you should tell the people to write up a revocation of the power of attorney? I guess you could just tear it up if you had the original. But
well, if you have the original, that's no problem. The problem is once you've given it to someone, and then if they breach your trust, it's difficult, because you have given someone the power to contact your institutions and transact business on them. Really, the only way to undo that is a big problem. The only way is to contact every institution where you have funds and notify them of the revocation and that you specifically are not authorizing this person to transact any business. But more important than that is to not designate that person in the first place. That's always been the problem.
If the person appears pushy, maybe that shouldn't be a good idea. It should originate in the mind of the person giving the power. It
should, and it should only be given to someone that you have a long relationship of trust with. It's even difficult, and this gets very sensitive. It's difficult even sometimes kids are the ones that abuse that power of attorney. And sometimes the kids are the perpetrators of massive fraud.
They can't wait for the funeral.
They can't wait for the inheritance.
Or the inheritance.
And they've got they don't want to share the inheritance with brother and sister, and they take mom or dad in and care for them for a short period of time, and next thing you know, they're acquiring the title to mom's house or acquiring the mom's portfolio, and by the time mom dies, the other kids don't even know this has happened, and then mom dies and all the money is gone.